Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Since the recent launch of the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, it has been evident that Joan Vassos will not be able to find true love on the show. The 61-year-old private school administrator has attempted dating on national television before. The mother and grandmother debuted on television during Season 1 of The Golden Bachelor, where she was one of 22 older unmarried women vying for the affections of 72-year-old Jerry Turner. Even though Joan and Jerry had a wonderful one-on-one date early in the season, Joan got a call from home practically immediately after they returned to the Bachelor mansion that evening. Her daughter was in need of her mother after giving birth, as she was having difficulties. Even though Joan was having fun on the show, she had to make the tough choice to end it early. Thank goodness, when one door closes, another one opens. Joan's journey to become the first female protagonist in the Bachelor spin-off ultimately followed Jerry's path. Joan welcomed the Golden Bachelorette Season 1's 24 men lately, and she has already taken part in a number of cocktail parties, rose ceremonies, group dates, and solitary dates. Despite Joan's higher expectations, Jerry's season concluded with an ill-fated marriage and a highly public divorce, so there was no reason to think that she would be any lucky. Here are some reasons why it's already obvious that Joan won't be able to find true love on the show as her season comes to an end. During Season 1 of The Golden Bachelor, Jerry and Teresa hurried into marriage, but they weren't the only ones who allowed the thrill of the moment get to them. The popularity of the show thrilled ABC and the producers, who decided to give viewers more of what they desired. They chose to broadcast a televised wedding in order to cash in on the popularity of the show. The elite of Bachelor Nation attended the extravagant Golden Bachelor wedding of Jerry and Teresa. The ideal wedding, which debuted on ABC in January a few weeks after the last Rose show, was lavishly planned. It's unlikely that producers took a lesson from the breakdown of Jerry and Teresa's marriage, which occurred just 3 months later, about the dangers of imposing a fabricated love story. The Golden Bachelor's reputation suffered greatly after Jerry and Teresa's brief marriage broke down, and Joan is predicted to turn things around for the program. Not only did Jerry and Teresa end their relationship amicably, but they also hurriedly entered an unwise marriage and equally hurriedly left it. In retrospect, it was a mistake for Jerry and Teresa to jump into marriage without spending enough time getting to know one another, but they were overexcited by the show's enormous popularity and the extremely high expectations. Compared to Jerry, Joan is a vastly different romantic lead. She doesn't seem to make as many mistakes because she seems more sensible and less impetuous. She is less likely to damage the brand with a second divorce, because she has already stated that she does not plan to rush into marriage. The Golden Bachelorette Season 1 and Joan shouldn't be expected to repair the damaged reputation of the Bachelor spin-off, and it's unlikely that she will be able to do it. It appeared as though the female contestants on the Golden Bachelor Season 1 genuinely desired Jerry's affection. They seemed to be taking the chase quite seriously. The men from the first season of the Golden Bachelorette, who debuted in a YouTube video for ABC, appeared more focused on enjoying the home and surroundings. The males get along well, which is fantastic, but maybe too well. Jack, a boisterous 68-year-old Chicago caterer, was the group's most charismatic member and provided an entertaining tour of the home and surroundings. The enormous swimming pool at the Bachelor home thrilled Jack, and in later sequences, he is shown repeatedly throwing himself into the water while pretending to court Joan. To give Jack his due, he did use the amazing kitchen in the estate to prepare Joan a fancy dinner. She looked impressed by this since at the conclusion of the first episode, she chose to award Jack a rose, but in the second, she got rid of him. A 60-year-old Mission Viejo, California professor named Gil Ramirez was given one of Joan's roses at the Season 1 premiere of The Golden Bachelorette. During the pre-event interview, Gil identified as a romantic and mentioned that Bridges of Madison County is his favorite novel. Gil's ex-girlfriend allegedly accused him of stalking her and filed a restraining order against him almost 3 months ago, according to People. Stated differently, it occurred during the window that spanned from the background check to the production start. Although Gil's restraining order was eventually lifted, The harm to his reputation is irreversible. Since the information became public, ABC has stated that Gil's already little screen time has been reduced. Joan drastically changed her expectations for the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, greatly impacted by Jerry and Teresa's unsuccessful marriage following the Golden Bachelor. Joan stated in a May CNN interview that her season would not conclude with her jumping into marriage, no matter what happened. She mentioned that she wasn't interested in moving, and that she would be happy to marry someone who lives far away, even if they were married remotely. It's important to understand the context of that statement. Jerry and Teresa's claim that they reside in separate states serves as the foundation for it. Their divorce was primarily brought on by this. Fans will not have to go through another painful divorce, even though this means they can put an end to another The Golden Bachelor wedding special. Although Joan, a mother of 4 adult children, clarified that 2 of her kids are thrilled about her going on a reality television dating show, the other 2 kids weren't quite as thrilled about the idea. In essence, they didn't want to be forced to watch their mother flirt on national television with several different men. That's reasonable enough. Night 1 of The Golden Bachelor showed Jerry kissing many women, while Joey Graziede's season of The Bachelor debuted with Joey kissing no fewer than 7 women. Joan had promised her kids not to kiss too many men, and so far she had stayed true to her word. Joan kissed just 1 man on the opening night of The Golden Bachelorette Season 1. She's kissed a few people since then, but for the most part, she's avoided making physical contact. Joan's decision to leave The Golden Bachelor early, due to a family issue, speaks much about her prospects of finding true love on the program. It makes sense that Joan wanted to go be with her kid, but Joan's presence wasn't required in an emergency. Nobody was in danger because her daughter had already given birth, and Joan could have continued on the show if she had chosen to. It must be difficult to make the transition from relative obscurity to dating on a national television show. Even if he didn't always make the best decisions, Jerry had a lot of charisma and could easily take the lead. Whether Joan will be as consistently engaging as Jerry is yet to be determined. Although Joan is a decent enough woman, she just doesn't have the killing instincts needed to be the protagonist in a Bachelor franchise. The thought of killing people bothers all Bachelor leads, but Joan, who is kind-hearted, will have it harder than most. She's a very sensitive woman who finds it difficult to say goodbye to people. In the 2nd episode of The Golden Bachelorette Season 1, Joan had to get rid of the charming Jack, and she was having trouble speaking. Joan didn't want to hurt Jack more than she wanted to disappoint the other guys, even though she couldn't imagine herself falling in love with him. Joan's situation will only worsen as she gets closer to some of the men she will eventually have to send home. If she is already going through so much this early in the season, she will suffer from what she must do. Joan expressed her hope recently that ABC would produce The Golden Bachelor in Paradise. Joan stated in the previously cited CNN interview, "Oh my word. I'd like to ride it. Hopefully, I'll have a husband and not be eligible," she said after swiftly realizing her mistake. It's evident that Joan isn't really devoted to finding love in the franchise because, even before filming a single scene of The Golden Bachelorette, she was discussing her appearance on another unscripted dating show. It's hard to blame her after the events surrounding the divorce of Jerry and Teresa. Though it's hardly a promising indication, Joan's lack of faith in the process doesn't necessarily mean that her season is doomed to fail. Although anything can happen, it doesn't seem good for the spin-off that she's already thinking about the possibility of failing. Before his brief fight with pancreatic illness ended in 2021, Joan was married for 32 years to Joan Vassos. Joan posted a family portrait of herself with John and their grown kids on Instagram in January. She said that 3 years had passed since she lost John, and that the loss of her cherished late husband still left her feeling extremely upset. Joan begins The Golden Bachelorette Season 1's opening episode by expressing her love for her spouse and the sense of security he provided. She'll have a difficult time finding that again, particularly after such a lengthy life. Joan hasn't really dated since his wife passed away, but Jerry did start dating nearly right away. She probably isn't ready to let go of her cherished late husband just yet.